Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the Parrot Bros. Today we're going to be showing you how to change your rear anti-roll bar. So this will cover things like replacing the bushings, so if you wanted to put either standard or poly bushings in, and basically just a how-to guide, taking the old one off and putting the new one on. This one I've already got off because the new subframe that I've put in didn't have one on, because obviously I bought all new components, and my old one, these brackets crumbled into nothing, so I actually had to order some new ones. So what I'll do is I'll show you fitting first, and then I'll just discuss removing. It's pretty much the same in reverse, so let's jump into it. Okay, so what we've actually got here is a 19mm rear anti-roll bar. Now this is removed from the Mk4 Golf platform off an R32, so 4Motion, similar setup. So it fits perfectly. I'll put the part number in the description. We've got brand new brackets, again genuine. I'll put the part number in the description. We've got strong flex bushes to match the 19mm roll bar. They need to be the right size, so if you are changing the size of your roll bar, you'll need new bushings. So if you do buy it separately, not as a kit, bear that in mind. We've got 4 brand new bolts to bolt through the bracket into the subframe, and we've got some grease which is for the bushings. Now tooling wise, all I've got is a 3/8 set and a set of spanners, because that is what we'll need to do the drop links and to fit the roll bar. It's a relatively straightforward process, providing everything comes undone well. It's not that bad. It's only 6 fixings, so it's a relatively straightforward job. Now if you have an exhaust shield, heat shield, then you're going to have to remove that as well. Unfortunately I can't show you that because I don't have one, so that is not something I can cover in this video, but that is it. So you need to get the car jacked up, so we've already done that, and what we'll do is I'll transfer this camera underneath the car and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, so you're underneath your car and you're looking what you've got to do. So fittings wise, the new bracket that I said I've got, sorry about the camera shaking, it's going to go onto there with the threaded part pointing down, and then we've got the end of the anti-roll bar is going to go onto that silver drop link there. I've replaced them for brand new Mk1s, again because my old ones were scrap and they were about 10 or 12 quid each, so relatively cheap. So that is going to be the fixing. Again, I don't have a standard exhaust, so it's going to be a little bit different. You may have to just drop it a little bit just to get it up there, if you've got to take the shield off. So there may be a bit more involved, but again, taking the exhaust off is only a couple of rubbers, and then you have to undo it from the sleeve just down there. So it's not that bad, a bit more of a two-person job because it's quite heavy and annoying, but if you're upgrading your anti-roll bar, I'm sure you're pretty handy with a car anyway. So we'll just get the roll bar set up, we'll grease the bushings and get it all ready to go. Okay, so I've got a towel here, just a cloth, just to wipe some of the excess off. Now we get the grease, try and get the orientation sorted before, so you know the anti-roll bar goes this way around, the bushings will face, the brackets will be pointing downwards, basically it dips where it goes onto the car. So we'll take our brackets off, and basically you want to put grease on the inside and on the outside to stop it squeaking against the metal, because that will get very annoying very quickly. Now the grease that comes with these red ones is pretty disgusting. Some of the Powerflex ones I think come with a clear grease, which is slightly less offensive on the fingers, but at the end of the day it does the job, it works perfectly well. So just try and get it all the way around evenly if you can. You'll be thankful of the cloth afterwards, believe me. Right, so it's on here. So again, where it touches the metal, all the way around, it's going to be sitting against there. And I always just put a little bit on this little collar at the side here where it sits up against, just to stop it squeaking. Oh, stuff's disgusting. You may also need a new pair of gloves afterwards. And that just pushes on nice onto there. Do the same the other side. No matter how many times you do this, it's just never a clean job. Just a bit on that edge to stop it squeaking against that. and then all the faces. Beautiful. Okie dokie. So you're greased up. Just give my hands a quick wipe. I'll give it a quick wipe over just to get any of the excess off because it goes everywhere. Right, so happy days. What I'll do is just wipe the face over the tops. So it doesn't need to be absolutely everywhere. No doubt we'll have it all over our hands later on once the bar's fitted. So what we're going to be doing now is slotting the bar up into position. So I'll get the camera mounted again down the bottom, and then we shall get stuck in. Okay, so now comes the fun part, which is trying to get the roll bar in. Now, like I said, because I've got an aftermarket exhaust, it probably won't be as hard as if you've got a stock one. It's still going to be tight, but it's not too bad. So what I'll do is I'll grab the bolts. I'll just rest it like that for a minute, and we'll just get the bolts in loosely onto the subframe, and then we can pop the drop links in. I might put the drop links in first actually, because it looks a bit of a pain in the bum to do it afterwards because I've already got them bolted in. So, but to be fair though, they'll push a bit on the rubbers. So let me just grab the bolts. Okay, so the bolts, genuine bolts, are a 13mm head. Let's pop this. We'll pop this into the drop link. We'll see what happens. I may change my mind and take it back out again. We'll see. Definitely put it in the drop links first because that's going to be a right pain in the bum otherwise. And then you should just be able to rotate it around to a point in which they should fit. Now, obviously I've got the bottoms done up already, so my drop links may not be sitting in the right place. They should be roughly vertical, but they're not at the moment because we had to do them up off the car. So I'll put me bolts in loosely to start with. Okay, so that side's complete, so we'll get this side done up loosely and then we'll get the torque setting done. Okay, so they're done up hand tight. What we'll do now, before we do finish these off, we'll get the drop links done up tight and then we can just torque up these and then that's it, job done. Okay, hopefully you can see this because it is a bit bright out today. So dependent on if you have used ones, you may need to get a, what is the word I'm looking for? You may need to get a spanner just to put up on the inside to hold. There's a sort of oblongated shoulder there to hold, and we'll just put the nut on the outside. What I'll try and do is get it straight, and then we'll get it done up. Sometimes it's easier to do it with a gun if you've got one. I've got one, but for the video I'll do it with a socket because it is slightly harder, and not everyone may have the tools. So you want ideally a longer socket because there's quite a lot of thread on it, and hopefully it's not spinning, which it is. So you will definitely need a spanner, which is good. We don't want to twist the boot because then it will damage. I will just grab an array of spanners and we'll see which one fits. Usually a similar size. It's probably a 16, something like that. Let's have a look. So this goes up on the inside. It's not a 16. Let's try a 17. Okay, so it's a 17 on mine. Check yours, they may be different. And what we'll do, I'll try and do this so you can see, is you want to hold it and you're tightening against yourself on the other side. And then that comes undone. and that is us. We'll do exactly the same on the other side, and again we'll just check the torque settings and then we'll come back and torque that as well. According to the Bentley manual, these are to be torqued at 25 Newton meters. Now that's both the 2 there and the top one there. So they are to be done to 25 Newton meters according to the Bentley manual. Now luckily I've got a torque wrench that goes that low. Obviously not everyone's going to have that available. Okay, so easy enough. So yeah, just I'll do the other side. Hopefully you can see that from here. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a funny one for space. So unfortunately, I've had to use an extension. I don't really like using extensions when doing torquing, but it doesn't matter too much. Just keep it nice and straight. And then we'll do the drop link as well. Ooh. Cool. So that is it, guys. All done, all torqued up. Let's give you a bit of a visual of the whole thing. So yeah, we've got new drop link and then our new roll bar, which goes up and over nicely. I've left the OEM stickers on because I can't bother to take them off. Onto the drop link the other side. It is, I'll be honest, it is helpful if you replace it with new. It does make your life a lot easier. Is it 100% required? No, but to be honest, I think the bolts are about 80 pence or £1 each. The drop links are a tenner each. The bushes 15 or 20 pounds for the Powerflex ones. The genuine ones are probably only a couple of quid. And if you're just replacing the bushings, it's not expensive. If you are replacing the roll bar, I'll put the price, or not the price, I'll put the details down because obviously it depends where you get it from. I recommend Coverdale Car Parts for your genuine bits. That's new brackets, everything, to be honest. Bolts, the anti-roll bar if you wanted the Mk4 32 one. You could get a TTV6 one, it is slightly bigger. You can get a Mk4 Golf 4 motion one, which I believe is a little bit bigger than this. But I've done a separate video on roll bars, so I'll put that up in the corner of the screen here. And you can have a watch of that if you want to know what roll bar to use, or if you're just using a new aftermarket one. They'll all do the same thing, but I like the idea of a genuine one. But yeah, guys, that is the new anti-roll bar fitting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.